This is 6-time IFBB Bikini Pro Champion Brina Martinez, and I take ZMA5 to make sure that I get the zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6 needed to keep my immune system healthy and snack strong.
B-Hop, let me take you back to last week. We saw Caleb Plant lose by KO in the 11th round to Canelo for Canelo to become undisputed at 168. What are your thoughts on the bout?
I don't even know who Caleb Plant was. I don't, seriously. Like I heard him, but I never knew who the guy was, like what he looked like, anything. But I never, to me, I didn't. He did a lot because of his style and his adjustments that he had to do to be competitive with Canelo. But I wasn't surprised what Canelo did, and I don't say that to down Plant that I didn't know who he was, but I wasn't familiar with his style. I wasn't familiar with his ability that I seen the other night. Now I am, and I think he done a great job based on what most people thought he wouldn't do as good as he did. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I don't think anybody here that's filming me thought that Plant had a shot that was going to beat Canelo. I don't think that anybody here thought that it was going to be an upset and that history was made. It would have been an upset. When you agree, if he would have beat Canelo, it would have been surprising. So when people say Plant, they say, well, what do you think he's in? What are you talking about? He basically got his ass whooped. Do you get rewards for getting your ass whooped? I don't think so. Then they say, who was he? I said, who is he? I don't know.
How do you rate Canelo's performance versus Plant? How did he look?
From 1 to 10?
From 1 to 10, yeah. How did he look? He was a 5 to beat Caleb Plant. So you weren't relatively impressed by his performance.
Who, Canelo?
By Canelo's performance, that's correct.
I wasn't impressed by Plant's performance. Canelo did what he had to do. And eventually, I just thought he was just carrying him for a while. Then I realized that he was having problems with his style. Because Caleb Plant was doing a couple of things that Canelo had problems with when he fought Floyd. And that's the shoulder move and the side bounce and counter and waiting for him to deliver himself and force himself on him, and he'll wait to counter. I seen some stuff that he was doing to get Canelo confused. But as far as anything else, I seen work at a workman's job that he was beating him down round by round by round by round. But I don't think it's something. I mean, look, he became the biggest fight, the biggest achievement that was to me. He became in a short window, in a short community of undisputed champions. Canelo became one of the few undisputed champions in boxing history, at least the last 30 years. That was the greatest thing that came out of that. Anything else, I didn't expect anything else different. Whether it was 10 rounds or 12 rounds, it's what Canelo wanted to do. And Lord behold, Canelo did what he needed to do.
Who's got the best chance of beating Canelo?
Many people believe that David Benavidez is the one to beat Canelo. What's your opinion?
Canelo's the only one who can beat Canelo.
So you don't feel like there's anybody out there lurking on the horizon, Zudo Ramirez, anyone out there that can dethrone Canelo at this time? So do you think he retires with only that one loss on his record? Probably. So with that having been said, does this elevate him to GOAT status as far as Mexican boxing goes?
Yeah, I think he's there already.
Surpassing Julio Cesar Chavez.
I didn't say surpassing. You said GOAT status.
GOAT's the greatest of all time out of Mexican.
That's what you said. You said GOAT status. Words are important. As soon as you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Always remember that. As soon as you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Chavez came in right after the statements you made about his performance and lack of or achievements. Nah, man, he's cementing his legacy in this era. When you start talking about Chavez, and you start talking about that, man, we talking about a whole new different. We talking about a whole new different era. We talking about 15 rounds back then when he was fighting. I didn't even bring up the Melter Teller beatdown when Melter's career was done after that. Richard Steele's, but nah, man. This is Canelo right now is cementing his legacy of his era, and that's the only thing I compete with when it comes to matching up eras of different fighters at different time. It's good to have fun and conversation, but I would never mix those two eras up back then to now.